Some movies fade. These movies burn into your soul. They challenge, mesmerize, and refuse to be forgotten. From mind-bending thrillers to haunting dramas, these films demand to be experienced. And when you reach number 1, it will change you. Let's begin. The Innocents, 1961, the most chilling ghost story ever filmed. There are ghost stories, and then there is The Innocents, a film so quietly terrifying it feels as if it's whispering secrets directly into your ear. From its very first moments, an unsettling dread begins to seep into every shadow, every silence. Deborah Kerr delivers a mesmerizing performance as a governess who slowly realizes something isn't right with the children in her care. Are they innocent victims haunted by a sinister presence? Or is the haunting something even darker, something rooted deeply within her own mind? Cinematographer Freddie Francis achieved the film's dreamlike horror through a brilliant technique. He placed a delicate layer of gauze directly over the camera lens, subtly blending the supernatural elements into reality. The effect is chilling. Ghostly figures seem to hover at the edge of your vision, forcing you to question your own senses. Even more unsettling, The Innocents never truly reveals its hand, pioneering the psychological ambiguity that would shape modern horror. Is the mansion genuinely haunted, or are we witnessing a fragile mind unraveling before us? Its influence echoes clearly in later masterpieces like The Others, 2001, proving that true horror doesn't shout, it lingers, quietly, just out of reach. Watch The Innocents, and you'll never look at shadows the same way again. Hope and Glory, 1987, Childhood in the Shadow of War. Hope and Glory isn't simply another war film, it's a powerful reminder that childhood sees even tragedy through innocent eyes. Director John Boorman crafted this profoundly human story directly from his own memories of growing up during the relentless bombing of London in World War II. It's deeply personal, often humorous, yet quietly heartbreaking. The film's magic lies in how authentically it captures a child's perspective. War as a grand, chaotic adventure rather than just fear and loss. Streets reduced to rubble become playgrounds, and enemy planes roaring overhead spark excitement rather than terror. Remarkably, one of the film's most unforgettable moments, a child laughing joyously as his school is obliterated by a bomb, isn't cinematic fiction. Boorman experienced it himself, a stark reminder of how resilient and adaptable children truly are. Through its warmth, laughter, and bittersweet honesty, Hope and Glory offers a view of war rarely explored, where innocence and devastation walk hand in hand. The authenticity of Boorman's memories seeps into every frame, leaving the audience touched, shaken, and strangely uplifted. This is a war movie with an emotional depth that lingers far beyond the credits, reminding us all that amid the darkness, hope and childhood somehow endure. Seconds, 1966, a sci-fi thriller that feels all too real. Imagine having a chance to start your life again, fresh identity, youthful body, new face, only to realize there's no way back. That's the chilling premise of Seconds, a disturbing, existential sci-fi thriller starring Rock Hudson as a man who trades everything for a new identity, but pays a terrifying price. From the moment this film starts, you're plunged into a nightmarish vision. A shadowy world where reality is reshaped by sinister corporations promising second chances. But beneath their promises lies something darker, something that strips humanity down to its most desperate impulses. The film's visuals are striking and disorienting. Tight, distorted close-ups convey paranoia, and dreamlike camera work captures the protagonist's gradual descent into madness. Remarkably, despite starring Rock Hudson and being directed by the legendary John Frankenheimer, Seconds flopped dramatically upon release. Audiences weren't ready for something this unsettling, this deeply disturbing exploration of identity, regret, and manipulation. Yet, decades later, this forgotten film emerged from obscurity to become a cult masterpiece. Modern filmmakers like David Fincher and Darren Aronofsky openly acknowledge it as a powerful influence. Seconds remains a hidden gem that reveals more about human desperation each time you watch, leaving you shaken, breathless, and questioning. Would you trade everything for a second chance? If you're loving this deep dive into incredible films, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. There are so many more hidden gems and forgotten classics to uncover. Stay tuned. The Night of the Hunter, 1955. A fairy tale turned nightmare. From the moment Robert Mitchum's Preacher appears on screen, with love and hate tattooed boldly across his knuckles, you know you are in the presence of something truly unsettling. Mitchum's performance is not merely villainous, it is otherworldly. A wolf wrapped in Preacher's robes, charming one moment and deadly the next. Director Charles Laughton, who astonishingly never directed another film, crafted a visual masterpiece influenced by German expressionist cinema, transforming small-town America into a nightmare world of shadow and light, innocence and menace. Every frame feels lifted from a twisted children's storybook, where shadows hide unspeakable secrets, and evil lurks just beyond the edge of vision. At its core, The Night of the Hunter is a twisted fairy tale, a morality story about innocence, corruption, and the monsters hiding within humanity. The iconic image of Mitchum's tattooed knuckles, love on one hand, hate on the other, has since seeped into pop culture, influencing films like Do the Right Thing and Cape Fear, but the source remains criminally overlooked. Today, the film feels as hauntingly relevant as ever, whispering a truth we all suspect: that evil, real evil, often comes disguised as salvation. After seeing this film, you will never forget Robert Mitchum's sinister lullaby, lingering long after the credits roll. The Swimmer, 1968, the dream that slowly turned to a nightmare. At first, Ned Merrill's idea seems simple, almost charming. He will swim his way home, pool by pool, through suburban backyards, reconnecting with old friends and reliving memories of better days. But soon, the comforting nostalgia begins to unravel, and something unsettling creeps in. The swimmer takes an innocent journey and slowly twists it into a haunting exploration of regret, failure, and self-deception. Burt Lancaster is unforgettable, shifting from a charismatic hero to a man trapped in his own illusions. The film's strange, dreamlike quality isn't an accident. It was filmed out of sequence over 2 long years, resulting in unsettling shifts in Lancaster's appearance and surroundings. It's as if reality itself is fragmenting around him. Studio interference almost destroyed the movie before completion, but Lancaster himself fought to bring his surreal vision to life. Now, decades later, the film is recognized as a powerful allegory about the fragile illusions we build around our lives, and how quickly they can crumble. The Swimmer feels eerily timeless, tapping into an anxiety that remains universal. The fear that beneath our polished surfaces, something is terribly wrong, and always has been. It's a film that stays with you long after the last frame fades away. The Man from Earth, 2007, the sci-fi film that will change how you see the world. Imagine you're at a quiet farewell gathering among close friends when suddenly someone drops a revelation that shakes your understanding of everything you know. A man you've known for years calmly claims to be 14,000 years old. The Man from Earth is unlike any sci-fi film you've ever experienced. There's no flashy effects, no alien battles, just a room full of friends, and a story that slowly unravels reality itself. What begins as casual disbelief quickly turns into a fascinating exploration of history, religion, and the very nature of humanity. The film gains immense power from its simplicity. It feels intimate, honest, and utterly believable as each character struggles with the impossible claim, forcing the viewer to confront the terrifying yet intriguing question: could he be telling the truth? Behind this remarkable story is an equally powerful tale. Legendary sci-fi writer Jerome Bixby, known for Star Trek and The Twilight Zone, wrote this script on his deathbed. It was his final creative act, a gift to cinema that sparked a passionate cult following after an online leak ironically boosted its popularity. It's not just a film, it's a philosophical journey, quietly unsettling, thought-provoking, and unforgettable, leaving you to wonder, what if he's right? What if humanity's greatest secrets are hidden among us right now? The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, 2007. The Western that haunts you long after it ends. When you think of westerns, you probably picture gunslingers, heroic showdowns, or quick-draw duels. But the assassination of Jesse James is something else entirely. It's a cinematic poem, a haunting meditation on fame, jealousy, and the corrosive power of obsession. Brad Pitt, at his most quietly magnetic, embodies Jesse James as a mythic figure trapped in his own legend, while Casey Affleck gives a mesmerizing portrayal of Robert Ford, part stalker, part tragic admirer. Every interaction between them crackles with tension, as hero worship spirals toward betrayal, leading inevitably to one of history's most notorious killings. Cinematographer Roger Deakins elevates this tragedy into visual poetry. Using a rarely seen technique called barrel distortion, he creates images that feel hazy, nostalgic, and dreamlike, like witnessing memories through antique glass. It's a western unlike any you've ever seen, more Barry Lyndon than John Wayne, where the landscapes aren't just stunning backdrops, but reflections of the characters' inner turmoil. Remarkably, Brad Pitt fought the studio to preserve the film's deliberately slow pacing, protecting director Andrew Dominik's powerful artistic vision. And thank goodness he did, because the result is more than just a film. It's an emotional experience that seeps into your soul, leaving you questioning the thin line between admiration and destruction. Stalker, 1979, A Journey into the Unknown. Few films feel like a dream you can step into. Stalker is one of them. Andrei Tarkovsky's hypnotic, slow-moving masterpiece is less about sci-fi spectacle and more about the mystery of human desire, faith, and the unknown. The story follows three men, a guide, a writer, and a scientist, who venture into the Zone, an eerie, abandoned wasteland where reality itself seems to shift. At its heart lies The Room, a place rumored to grant a person's deepest, most secret wish. But as they inch closer, the real terror sets in. What if the wish it grants is not the one you thought you wanted? The Zone's mystical, otherworldly look was not achieved with special effects. Instead, Stalker was filmed near a real toxic chemical plant in Estonia, a decision that may have doomed multiple cast and crew members, including Tarkovsky himself, who later died of cancer. Even more haunting, the film was shot twice. The first version was mysteriously destroyed due to film stock damage, forcing Tarkovsky to reshoot everything from scratch. The result? A film that feels even more ethereal, more unsettling, and more impossible to explain. Is Stalker a sci-fi film, a spiritual odyssey, or a warning about our inability to truly know what we desire? Perhaps it is all of them. The Passenger, 1975. A Journey into Identity and Escape. What happens when you walk away from your own life and step into someone else's? Jack Nicholson delivers one of his most understated and mesmerizing performances in The Passenger, a film that strips identity down to its core, unraveling the quiet desperation of a man trying to disappear. Directed by Michelangelo Antonioni, this existential thriller follows a war journalist who stumbles upon a dead man with a new identity to offer. And without hesitation, he takes it. But escaping yourself is never that simple. The film moves like a mirage, quiet, hypnotic, and deeply unsettling. Antonioni's signature long, lingering shots immerse you in the vast emptiness of desert landscapes, isolated hotel rooms, and endless roads to nowhere. The story is less about action and more about a creeping, suffocating feeling. The realization that freedom can be its own kind of prison. And then there's that shot. The film's legendary final sequence is a 7-minute single take, tracking from inside a hotel room, through the bars of a window, and out into the open world. It is both breathtaking and claustrophobic, symbolizing the protagonist's fate in a way words never could. Was The Passenger too meditative for its time? Perhaps, but today, its themes of identity, detachment, and the search for meaning feel more relevant than ever. The Fall, 2006, a visual masterpiece like no other. Some films tell stories. The Fall paints them, on a canvas so breathtaking, it does not seem real. Shot over 4 years across more than 20 countries, this is a film where every single location is real. No CGI, no green screens, just the raw beauty of the world. From the scorching dunes of Namibia to the frozen peaks of the Himalayas, The Fall immerses you in a fairy tale unlike any other. But beneath the grandeur lies something deeply human. Lee Pace plays a paralyzed stuntman, weaving an epic adventure for a curious young girl, played by Katinka Untaru. But here is the secret. She believed everything was real. Director Tarsum Singh kept Pace in a wheelchair for months, never breaking the illusion, ensuring that her reactions, her wonder, her sadness were 100% genuine. It is this authenticity that makes the film's emotional core hit so hard. And as the fantasy unfolds, so does the truth. What begins as a tale of heroes and villains slowly unravels into something much darker, where reality and storytelling collide. Was The Fall too ambitious? Too different? It was overlooked upon release, but today it stands as one of the most visually stunning, emotionally powerful films ever made. And that wraps up 10 movies so incredible, you'll never forget them. Each of these films leaves a lasting mark, whether through stunning visuals, thought-provoking themes, or unforgettable performances. Which one stood out the most to you? Have you seen any of these, or did we introduce you to something new? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. If you enjoyed this list, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss another deep dive into cinema's greatest hidden gems. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.